Harold got all fired up after the first pick of the draft last night. You about jumped out of your chair, didn't you, HR?
Well, I don't know about that. No, it was. I was surprised they didn't take Hunter Green. It's just you don't see a talent come along like this very often. I mean, Dan, the kid throws 102 miles an hour, and he would have been a first-round pick as a shortstop. So to pass on that pick, it's very tough to do.
Well, explain this, though, because this isn't like other drafts where if you don't, it felt like there were players who didn't want to go to the Minnesota Twins, that there were at least one player or two players that turned down the opportunity to be the number one pick, not wanting to go to the Twins. Why don't players want to go to the Twins?
Well, I don't think it was a matter of not wanting to go to the Twins. The way the draft is in baseball, it's a compensation pool that really doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, for example, you might have $15 million you get to work with, and I got 15. And so instead of saying the slot is a $7 million slot, I'm spending half my pool money, I'll see if I can get a guy that will take $4 million. Then I can spend more money to get more players. And that's what the negotiation at the top is
Well,
about.
what's Hunter Green going to cost the Cincinnati Reds then?
Oh, he's not taking a discount. So I'm sure that he got his whatever that slot is. I don't think he's taking a discount.
Is there any chance, though, that he doesn't play for the Reds? He's only 17. He's committed to UCLA. I know that that's your leverage here, but what are the odds that he'll go to the Reds organization or opt to go to UCLA?
No, he's going to sign. What happens, most of these guys, before the teams pick them, they know they're going to get them. Last year we went through the first 10 rounds of the draft. We had one kid turn down his offer. Everybody else signed. So signability, that's pretty handled before teams pick a guy because of what we're talking about with the amount of pool money they have.
All right, here's a question we had. The Dan Entz and I were talking about this prior to. Will we see a day where you have somebody who's able to play in the field but also be, let's say, a starting pitcher? Hunter Green, Brendan McKay of Louisville. Those are guys who are two-way players. Why would I take this guy out of the lineup, or why would I take him off the mound if I think he can help me every single day?
Well, the interesting thing to me, could we see it? Probably more so now than ever before. And here's why, because the pitch count is so prevalent. I mean, you think about it. We only have a few select guys that are throwing 100 pitches in the major leagues as it is.
Yeah.
That was the complexity for me with Hunter Green and Brendan McKay. So why am I going to have one pick and say, I want this guy, he's going to throw 70 pitches in 1 week when he can be an impact guy that can affect 150 games? So I think with the low pitch counts, they may have the opportunity to pull that off. Somebody can throw 50 pitches, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? It may not be as a starter, but we may see a guy come in the bullpen and still go back to his position and play. So it depends. It's tough to do, but we may get to that point someday.
Yeah, that's what I thought. If you're playing first base, and there were a lot of first basemen drafted in the first round, if you go from first base, you come in, you got middle relief, you face two or three guys, maybe an inning, then you can go back to first base. Just seems like it feels like these guys are major leaguers as a pitcher and they're major leaguers as a hitter. Why not combine both of those? And that feels like it's a rarity there. So,
well, we've seen Joe Madden try to do it with a few of his guys already, and they're not even to the caliber of these guys as position players. So we'll see. He's
Harold Reynolds, Major League Baseball network analyst. The Oregon State pitcher Luke Heimlich sexually assaulted a six-year-old girl when he was 15. This just came up. The Portland Oregonian did a lot of backstory, deep dive on this to find out about this. I guess he's a first-round talent. Is that fair to say? And what is his future in Major League Baseball?
I don't know if he's a first-round talent. He's definitely a top 5-round talent.
Okay.
And, he's helping Oregon State lead them to the College World Series right now. It's one of those tough dynamics. I don't know if anybody's going to touch this kid, and I can understand why not. And I can see on the other side why somebody else would be pulling for him. So that's a tough one.
Yeah, just trying to understand that how this came out and then how do teams deal with this if, he was punished or he had to, pay his debt or whatever it might be. So understanding, how good is he, and is a team going to take a chance on him? But you think he's more of a, fourth or fifth round draft pick than a first or second?
Yeah, I think today will tell you a lot, because today we go from rounds 3 to 10, and then tomorrow from 10 to 40, and then the draft's over. So I think if he goes today, then you got a story, and I think that's what everybody will probably be talking about.
Where did Aaron Judge come from? Like, how did this happen?
Listen to this story. Fresno State University, right? So when Aaron was in high school, he was playing football. And I remember he was one of the guys I was assigned to during the draft that year he got drafted. And he went to a football camp at Fresno State, and they were touring the campus, and he said, hey, can I take some swings? The baseball team was out there. So he took some swings, and the baseball coach said, you got a scholarship. That's how he ended up on the baseball team at Fresno State.
Okay.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, but look at these numbers now. I mean, he's leading the Yankees in every offensive category and as a rookie.
Right.
It doesn't make sense here.
Well, it doesn't make sense in a way that the numbers are ridiculous, but the talent was always there. And here's the difference that people don't understand. With the baseball draft, this is not like, hey, I'm drafting Lonzo Ball and he's going to play for the Lakers tomorrow and maybe turn their fortunes around. We're talking about these guys we drafted last night, Hunter Green and et cetera, we may not see for 4 years.
Yeah.
So here's a guy who gets drafted. He's already 22 years old. He goes to the minors for 3 years. And so he's had a lot of time to work on that swing. And what he's done is refine it. The power was always there. He just swung and missed too much. And he really changed his swing over the last 3 years, where it started getting shorter and shorter. He took away the leg kick. He's got a little bit of a swing now. And for him, it was, if he made contact, he was going to hit home runs. And right now he's making contact. But I've seen in the last week the Boston Red Sox kind of exploited him. They started busting him up high. He couldn't catch up to the high heater. And then Baltimore comes in and starts throwing him balls down low again. He hits one 495 feet. So I want to see if the league adjusts to him and how he'll have to adjust to them.
But wasn't he up part of trade rumors last year?
Well, yeah. Sometimes you get lightning in a bottle. I mean, I don't think the Yankees expected this to happen.
No, they were going to trade him.
But the best thing that happened to him, though, is Joe Girardi saw something in him. And you got to just have one guy.
Yeah.
And Joe, when he came to spring training, said, I don't want to trade this guy. We're going to make him compete. And Aaron went in there knowing that he's not given anything. He was one of the coveted talents that they had. But he had to compete in spring training. And then Joe Girardi came to him and said, it's your job. Don't worry about anything. Just play. And for a guy to hear that who's been battling the whole time, it cleared his mind.
What's the longest home run you ever saw in person?
Willie Mays Aikens hit a ball in Seattle. And in the Kingdom, we had 5 decks. And in right field, it'd be the third, fourth, fifth deck. And he hit one down the walkway. Now, I'll go into some folklore, but it's true because I was standing there. All right? So Bo Jackson, when he first came to the league, everybody would be like, you got to watch Bo take batting practice. I remember George Brett pulling this out, saying, you got to watch this guy. So they come to Seattle after he'd been in the league or so, and he'd be talking trash to me all the time. Like, you know switch hitter, Reynolds. You can't switch hit. Stuttering and joking with me. And he finished his round of hitting, and Dan, he turned around left-handed, and he hit a ball up there where Willie Mays Aikens hit a ball in the game. And in my 10 years playing in the Dome, those are the only 2 guys I ever saw a ball hit that far. And he flipped the bat down and walked out and said, you know switch hitter.
If Bo would have just played baseball.
Well, we'd be talking about legendary stuff. I mean, he would have hit balls like we're seeing now. The speed was incredible. He would have done things that we'd be still talking about. I mean, that was what he did in the little stint that he played. So as he got better and started to make more contact and started hitting 320 instead of 260, it would have been beyond our thinking.
I'll leave you with this. I'll give you the Yankees and the Nationals, or you can have the field for the World Series.
Wow. Yankees and the Nationals, huh?
Yeah.
They're going to have to get through the Astros. I still think the Stros are going to go get pitching. And they're the best offense in baseball, but we'll see if they get the pitching. I like the Nets. I like that pick.
All right. But you think it'll be the Astros and the Nationals. If I gave you Astros Nationals of the field, you're taking Astros Nationals?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I take that.
All right.
I take that.
Tell the boys we said hello. It was a good watch. I was flipping back and forth watching the draft last night. It was.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I'm watching you when you reacted to the Twins' first-round pick and first number one pick, and you're like, I don't know if this is the best shortstop out there, and that they surprised you. Said this is going to change the draft.
It did. I thought it did. I thought it changed the order.
Yeah.
We'd heard about Wright. He ended up going to the Braves. They had thought no chance he was going to get to them. The order was kind of switched. You know how you get these mock drafts and you get a pretty good idea where guys might fall.
Yeah.
I thought we saw a lot of shifting, and it changed the first round. No doubt about it.
Just telling you, I'm watching. I'm keeping an eye on you, HR.
You are dynamite. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, DP.
All right, and by the way, just remember, I'm not Dan Plesac.
I thought about that. That was so funny. When you dropped the DP, I'm hearing Plesac all the time.
And then you responded, and I'm going, he must not know this is me because I'm responding to something you're saying on Major, Baseball Tonight there.
Yeah. I did not know it was you. And then I got home later, and I was like, that was fantastic.
You thought I was Plesac. You go, I thought that was Plesac.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Tell the boys we said hello. Thanks, HR.
You're legendary, and Plesac's trying to get there. See, that was kind of like, wow.
He'll never get there.
The legend.
He'll never get there.
Me.
He'll never get there.
He's not getting to your level.
He threw salad. Left-hander threw salad.
What'd you think of the NBA Finals?
I don't have any time. I don't have any time. I got to go, HR.
Oh, man, I'll listen. You got to do a segment on it. Bye.
That's HR. Harold Reynolds, MLB Tonight.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.